Hey 8th grade, I hope you're doing well. This is the first video up for the Corona break. It is 8.4. I'm putting that up before 8.3 because many of you have been jumping forward and trying to take the test. The essay is required. Today's video should help you with the essay. So, in 8.4, we're learning about fronts and air masses. An air mass is a large body of air with about the same temperature, humidity, and pressure. Temperature, humidity, pressure. Temperature, humidity, pressure. Okay? A front is the boundary between warm and cool air masses. You should note that colder air masses will move faster than warmer air masses. Okay, so the reason that fronts occur is because different air masses will have different densities. That's because the density of an air mass will depend on the temperature, humidity, and pressure. Furthermore, fronts do not mix because of their different densities, all right? Now, the density of an air mass will once again be determined by its temperature, humidity, and pressure, okay? So, though the temperature and humidity depend on where on the Earth's surface an air mass formed over. In other words, the source region affects the temperature and humidity of air masses. There are 5 different categories of source regions. Continental, that means it occurs over land. An example would be occurring over Kentucky. Maritime means it forms over the ocean, okay? So maritime would mean like it forms over the Atlantic Ocean. Tropical means it forms near the equator. That's between 23 degrees north to 23 degrees south latitude. Arctic forms near the North Pole. That's greater than or equal to 66 degrees latitude. Look at a map, guys. Find your tropic lines and your Arctic Circle line, okay? Polar means it forms in the cold areas between the tropics and the Arctic. An excellent example of this would be Alaska, okay? Even though Alaska will also include the Arctic. Okay, so continental will be dry. Dry means continental. Maritime means moist or high humidity. Moist means maritime. Tropical will be warm, okay? Polar will be cold, and Arctic will be very cold. Gotcha? Now, we talked about the different properties of these air masses. Fronts occur when air masses are meeting together. The advancing air mass will determine what it's called. Advancing means the one that's pushing forward. In a warm front, the warm air is pushing forward. It'll push up and over the cold air front. This will form a variety of different clouds. The cirrus clouds, which are high altitude, wispy looking clouds, will form first, and they'll form 2 days before any bad weather occurs. The bad weather will be from the alto and nimbostratus clouds, and those clouds will have a light, steady precipitation over a couple days. Thunderstorms can occur in warm fronts, but they're not typical, all right? Cold fronts are the exact opposite of warm fronts in every way. Cold fronts will form when a cold air is wedging itself under warm air. That pushes the warm air up really fast. That causes a cumulonimbus cloud to form. Remember, cumulonimbus clouds, our key identifier was lightning. So a cumulonimbus cloud will typically bring a thunderstorm. The cold fronts will have very severe weather, but it will occur very quickly. So warm fronts have a steady kind of drizzle that occurs over a long time. Cold fronts will have very severe weather, thunderstorms, over a short time. All right? The other 2 types of fronts are stationary and occluded. Stationary fronts are ones in which the cold and warm air equal each other, so none of them moves forward. They can produce clear skies or stormy weather, but they are also identified by light parallel winds. Parallel means they're going in the same direction. The final front is occluded. This is where a warm front starts forming, but another cold front moves faster than it and pushes it up. Once again, occluded fronts will form cumulonimbus clouds. However, they will also have the cirrus and nimbostratus clouds forming. So the occluded front will have the weather patterns of both warm and cold fronts. The key identifier is that it will have 3 fronts. Additionally, an occluded front will occur when a frontal cyclone matures. Frontal cyclones occur when a low pressure area forms and the air starts spinning in a circle due to the Coriolis effect. The occluded front will form at the end of the cyclone when the cold and the warm air meet each other. All right? There's a detailed description on page 241. You need that for one of your thought provoker questions. Okay? So, this is the material that your essay is over. You're going to have to identify the type of front based on the characteristics and explain why it couldn't be any of the other fronts. Please, please, please send me questions. I love talking to you guys and I miss you so much. I'll talk to you tomorrow.